Inflation goes up, and the average American doesn't have $1,000. 40% of Americans don't have $1,000. And so when inflation goes up, we're going to wipe out 50% of the US population. And that is when revolution starts. If and when, and it will come down, the stock market crashes, the 401k, the old guys like me, are toast. We don't have a retirement. Our pensions are bust.
In this video, famed entrepreneur Robert Kiyosaki gives his opinion on why he thinks America is going down. He also gives advice on what the average person can do to make money from this inevitable collapse. We hope this information inspires you to get started on your dream. So please watch until the end. And if you're new here, consider subscribing so that you won't miss other educated videos like this. Let's get started.
I want to keep things in perspective. I've been saying to people, silver is still 50% its all-time high. Of $50 is $25. Well, the question is, if a can of tuna hits $25, what does silver go to? And that's what I'm concerned about. I wish I had better news, but it gets worse. It just gets worse.
Robert explains what he thinks the major catalyst will be for America's impending collapse.
Well, there's a guy, Jordan Peterson, he's a Canadian, and he talks about, he says, you think tough men are dangerous, and Trump was a tough man. But he says, watch what weak men will do. And this guy Biden is the worst I have ever seen. And today what's happening is Russia and China are now ganging up on the US. It's really a dangerous world right now. It's getting worse. When Trump was in power, I was a bit optimistic. But now we have the weakest, most corrupt government. What happened to Hunter Biden's laptop? If the FBI loses his laptop, there's something really sick inside this country. And so that's what I gauge all my macroeconomics on is, where is Hunter Biden's laptop? How can the FBI lose it? We have no financial education in our schools. So that's what I'm concerned about. My biggest concern with Russia and China are ganging up on us. As we all know, America produces nothing anymore. We produce bubbles, so we just blow air bubbles. So we now have this bubble in real estate and stocks and bonds. And when Biden took the Keystone pipeline, XL pipeline off, just wiped us out here. Inflation goes up, and the average American doesn't have $1,000. 40% of Americans don't have $1,000. And so when inflation goes up, we're going to wipe out 50% of the US population. And that is when revolution starts. If and when, and it will come down, the stock market crashes, the 401k, the old guys like me, are toast. We don't have a retirement. Our pensions are bust. So what we have with three things is our treasury is out of control. We've lost it. Our entitlements out of control. And now we're at war in the Defense Department. So our debt to GDP is out. I wish I could have some good news. So that's why I did the tuna can to a silver eagle comparison. We're in trouble.
Robert then explains why he chooses to invest in cryptocurrency, more specifically Solana, over other asset classes.
As we all know, there's insiders to every deal. I don't have any stocks. I don't invest in the stock market, but they're my companies on the stock market. So the best deals are always done early. So when people say, do you invest in Bitcoin? Yes, when it was $6,000. So Solana is still early, and it's got a possibility. It's a long shot. It's the same as a can of tuna. A can of tuna may be worth more than Solana. We've got to know what's real today. And that's what I'm saying. We have the weak leadership in world history. America's in serious trouble. So I want to find out what's real. And China and Russia are now ganging up on us. We went to Venezuela and Iran to buy oil from them. And this guy Biden cuts off our oil supply. Everybody talks about intrinsic value. What is intrinsic value? I can eat tuna. That's valuable. And if you're starving, I'd rather have a can of tuna than Solana. All these years, I'm always kind of a Rodney Dangerfield of the financial circuit. I like to make fun of things because otherwise people can't hear you. They get too serious about this. So I'm just saying that we're in serious trouble, and it's getting worse. That's what terrifies me.
Robert then explains his views on the potential for government regulation in the crypto space.
For years, I've been buying those green canisters of silver coins. because the government can't trace them. I can use them for money. So I can go anywhere in the world with a silver coin and spend it. I can go with a gold coin and spend it without being traced. Not that I'm hiding anything. I'm just sick and tired of this government. I don't trust them. As I said, if Hunter Biden's laptop disappears in FBI custody, we have a serious internal problem here. And so that's why I tongue-in-cheek tweeted that I'd rather have a can of tuna right now than a silver coin, because I can eat tuna. I cannot eat that silver coin. I can spend it.
Robert explains how an average person can make money in this type of environment even with all this chaos.
Always remember, America has stopped producing products. We produce bubbles. Now, the good thing about a bubble is when they burst, everything goes on sale. And so in 2008, I waited till about 2010. I borrowed $300 million because debt is money, as you know, after 71. And I began buying real estate at bargain prices. So just recently, the repo market inverted again, which means we're going down. It means recession's ahead. But my concern is now revolution, because when people can't afford to eat tuna, we're going to have rioting. So it's a whole different type of bubble burst. When Biden took us off the pipeline, oil prices went up. Oil produces fertilizer. And when fertilizer is no longer cheap, people can't produce food. And the average American has nothing. 40% of Americans have nothing. Inflation is going to make them very upset. A stock market crash will bring down the baby boomers. So we're in serious trouble here.
Robert then talks about what a revolution could look like and where it would take place.
I'm a U.S. Marine. I fought in Vietnam twice as a pilot. I've seen what happens when the communists, what people can see it in the Ukraine, communists always kill civilians. And that's what people don't realize. And as a Marine, they sent kids and women after us. So a lot of my friends who came back with PTSD, and you can see it in the Ukraine today, Russia's not hitting military targets, they're hitting civilian targets. I am a student of communism. They don't know what Marx said, but what Marx said, they had to have the poor get poor and the middle class come down, and that was the recipe for revolution. And I see Biden doing it. When he took the Keystone XL pipeline and took us off of it, and oil prices went up. Now the thing is, I got richer because I produce oil. I don't invest in oil. I don't invest in Shell or Exxon and all that. I invest in oil wells. So when oil went from $30 a barrel to $130 a barrel, I got richer, but I also got more concerned for my fellow human beings. They can't afford to live at $130 a barrel oil.
Robert explains the situation in Ukraine and how people have to revert back to using gold, silver, and even crypto to facilitate commerce, and what this could mean for the future of other countries.
When you see the Russians hitting civilian targets, it doesn't register in most people's minds because Americans haven't seen war. It's really sad. Our press, our school system, our academic system is so Marxist. Communism would come in two stages to America. First would be socialism, and that happened in 1930 when the Frankfurt School of Germany sent teachers to Columbia University, Teachers College. And then in 1968, when I was in school in New York, that's when the rioting in the college campuses began. That led to Kent State and Berkeley and Woodstock and all this. And then the second stage would take place, and in my opinion, in 2020, when they took down President Trump, that was the corruption of our media. That's communism. I hate to say that, but I am a U.S. Marine, 2 tours in Vietnam. If you understand that communists kill their own people, Mao killed his own people, Stalin killed their own people, Americans try and stop that from happening. And then our own press, I came back from Vietnam in 73, I got spit on, hit by eggs, called a baby killer. And I'm still a little bit bitter about that, but it prepared me for today. Our school system should teach us about money.
Robert then explains how he sees this all playing out. Let us know if you agree in the comments.
It's the end of America. We have communists, as a Marine we would say, inside the wire. They're inside our government, they're inside our school systems, they're inside Hollywood, and they're inside Silicon Valley. We've got to fight back. and we fight back with information and education, not weapons. As Jordan Peterson says, if you think tough men are dangerous, just watch what weak men can do. I don't care what you are, white, left, pink, green, pink. I am concerned because 50% of Americans are broke. Inflation is going to wipe us out.
If you found value in this video, we would like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. We would, however, highly appreciate it if you could like this video and share it with your friends on social media. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here so you won't miss another one of our videos. The more you learn, the more you earn.